people just complain that Christianity is all about a set of rules. To start off as a Christian, you have to believe. That's so easy. Like, that's not hard at all. We don't
And that is what's so interesting about what we do, is that Christ will pique a person's interest even if they don't know what it specifically is.
Yeah.
The most embarrassing moment. I don't know. You've watched all the episodes. What's the most embarrassing moment?
Too many.
I've had a lot. Yeah, we've had a lot, bro.
Yeah.
I patted myself on the back once, and that thing got 5,000-6,000 views.
How's that embarrassing?
I literally
I
sat
have
there
no
and pat
memory of
myself on the
this.
back. Mick Hanna was on the show, and he goes, "Pat yourself on the back for that." And then I had to do it.
Okay.
I don't know. My life's very embarrassing, bro. So what I do on the podcast, like the same thing.
Thing is that you chose to post that still.
Yeah. That's the problem, right? Because I think it's entertaining, even though it's probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Best moment you've had?
Best moment we've had. That's an interesting one. I think. So I don't even remember all of our episodes, but I think the best moments we've had is when we've had unsaved people on the show, and we're literally
When's
witnessing.
this?
What are you talking about? Half of it.
Which one?
I've had a couple, but there's been a couple of boys. I brought them on, and they're not saved, and we just talk.
Oh,
witnessed to
I
them
think I
on
know
the
the ones
show.
that you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's happened over the last few years, and that's been the cool part, is like just being able to do that
Yeah.
and show people you're allowed to disagree.
Mm.
Like we said on the show, we disagreed with each other, but we were still having the conversation, still allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then after the fact, we're sitting there and we're still going, and talking
real,
personal.
man. That's so real.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a viewer comment or like chime in to say, "You guys really helped me with this"?
Yeah.
Like a non-believer?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't think comments, but we've had DMs.
Oh.
We've had DMs where people are like, "This is
So people actually watch this.
interesting." Yeah.
It's not just me.
It's very minimal. Like it's still not there. Like I would call the page a success if we're getting 1,000 per video.
Mm.
That's when I would be like, okay, I'm happy. We did our job. But we're averaging about 150 to 300 across the board, probably 6 months later.
Yeah, you'll get there.
But seeing people say stuff like that, that's what's kept us going.
Mm.
Like we even had a couple of guys say that they were going to leave church until they.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, we're still going. Yeah.
Until they watched like this.
They watched an episode where Stat and I were just being real about something, and then they were just like, "Thank you so much. You guys helped me stay in church.
That's crazy.
We're in."
How good is that?
Yeah.
That's what makes it all worth it.
Well, I guess for me, it's like we were gonna cancel this thing probably 3 times.
Yeah.
But then every time we were about to do it, God gave us a reminder like that. So even though this is small, and it's not a big thing, and it's not where I want it to be, it's like God's been like,
Yeah.
keep going. Whether you become big or not, I'm using it, and so that's been cool.
Still entertaining enough as well.
Is it?
Like for me to listen to it, yeah.
Yeah, good.
I've never actually listened to a single show.
Would not expect you to listen to any of it, brother. Half of the reason because you are an import and you barely understand English.
Look, to be honest, when I'm on the tours at work, I'm constantly listening to a podcast.
Are you?
Just not this
Yes.
one.
What are you listening to? What type of podcast are you listening to?
Have you heard of Craig Rochelle?
No.
You've never heard of Craig Rochelle?
Not in the slightest.
Anyway, he does a podcast on leading. and
Okay.
He just knows how to teach. Like that guy is so gifted.
Nice.
And what's the actual podcast called? I'll quickly search it up.
Bro, I was listening to one a few years ago with Carrie Schmidt.
Oh yeah.
He wrote a couple of books now, so it's called Leading in the Gospel. That one was phenomenal. I really enjoyed that.
I've actually listened to maybe 40 episodes.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really
Harry
good.
Schmidt.
Yeah, that's
So he
really good.
owns Life Church, this guy,
Okay.
Craig Rochelle. He has like over 33 churches.
Dead set.
Yeah, he's really like dedicated. And he just puts in so much effort. Leadership podcast, that's all it's called. Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast.
That's a very straight out name. Is that all you're listening to though? Like you always listening to serious stuff?
Oh no, sometimes I listen to like Hope 103.2 and it's just good to listen to like Christian music.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't constantly listen to someone just speaking the
Yeah,
whole time. And when I'm working, music really gets the flow going. So it's a bit of both.
Is that in the ears or out loud when you're on the
Oh,
site?
it's in the ears.
It's in the ears.
Yeah, it wouldn't be out loud, no.
'Cause there's a lot of job sites that do out loud too.
Yeah, but when I actually, when it's in the ears, you just turn off everything else, and there's so much background noise.
Yeah.
So,
Is that what your job needs though? Like,
yeah.
because I don't know too much about your job. Like, do you need the steady focus, or is it pretty straightforward?
It all depends on what you're doing. So when a lot of the times you're working as a team, so you can't really have like any headphones in. You have to be able to communicate because you're lifting heavy glass. So you want to be able to make sure you're communicating right. And then there's the other side of the job where you're doing caulking, you're waterproofing.
Yep.
And that's the boring side of the job. If you're doing like sub seals where you're actually installing like it's like flashings, and you're installing them, you're putting packers on the floor. It's
I actually know what he's
I'm
saying.
probably boring the whole.
Nah, I love this.
Well, yeah, when you're leveling, this is like on your own, and you don't really need to concentrate. Everything's like second nature, but like obviously you need experience.
Yeah.
When it becomes second nature, then you just listen and wind in.
Nice. Well, ladies and gents, if you need your windows done, give Mark a call.
It's Windows Plus.
Windows Plus. We'll put his details in the description. Give him a buzz. Get it all sorted. Welcome to another episode of Talk to Me. It's the show where I get my friends to talk to me. And as we got started, we just started talking podcasts. We just started talking life. And I'm excited for this episode because not only do we have our number one fan, but we have her husband. It's the Habchys. Give him a clap. Welcome him to the show. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Well,
That was
mate,
pretty good. That was a good intro.
you were happy with it?
Yeah, not
Good.
bad.
I did it off the fly, so I'll take it. I was going to go down the grounds of, she's pregnant, they have a life now, and this and that. But I thought,
They have a life. We had a life before.
we're going to get into all that. But thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. Old mate over here's been listening to every single episode, watching every single show. Mate,
Because I didn't have a life before.
that's right.
That's right.
When you don't have a life, you listen to have a chat, and then you get a life after that. So it's good for you. And Habchy, bro, it's been too long, mate.
It really has.
We always say every time we see each other,
We should hang out more.
we should hang out
we
more.
should hang out more.
And then
And then he was forced to hang out.
and then we say, yeah, let's set something up. We don't set anything up,
Yeah.
and then we see each other again.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I'm here is because Shenae said there'd be pizza, and there's no pizza.
Why'd you say that to him?
Because you said we were going to get pizza on the Horsley.
I haven't had pizza on the horse.
When did I say
At
that?
church!
No chance.
Are you going to lie right
Listen,
now?
I'm more than happy to order pizza on the
record,
Horsley.
you said pizza on the Horsley. I was like, oh, it's right down the road from us.
There
It's
is-
not that far. We can get it.
You asked me where do you live, and then I said 10 minutes from pizza on the Horsley.
You did
What?
You said
Crazy.
Woodville Road and that
Come
other
on,
road that I
man.
don't know because I don't live here.
I said
Where's
it's
the
next to the
pizza, mate?
Meccano set. See how she tries to get me on live on air, Joe? She's trying to get all the audience against me.
We'll get
And
pizza.
knowing our audience, they're going to go on her side.
100%. 100%.
How you doing?
I am good.
You
I gotta
good?
take these off when I talk.
Yeah,
I'm
fair.
good.
You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
I'm excited for this one because it could go anywhere, especially with these two.
We are getting pizza on the Horsley after though, right?
Sure.
All right.
Yalla.
That's
Love it.
most important thing.
I bought snacks just in case I get hungry.
Sahtan, what did you get?
Just a nut bar.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Ever since Shenae got pregnant, she's just been constantly hiding snacks in her pockets.
Sounds
It's a
good.
must.
How long you been pregnant now?
I'm 13 weeks. That's like
3 months.
yeah.
That's
3
hectic.
months.
Were you freaking out when you found out? Were you excited?
I was really shocked. You know, your whole life just flashes before your eyes. Like, what on earth just happened? I was like, are you serious? No way, no. I think when she first told me, I'm like, no. And then I changed it to no way.
He's trying to save himself. We've got a video of it.
No way,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. So he's like, he's full freaking out. No.
No.
And
No
no
way.
way.
That's
Freaking-
hectic. That's
Uh,
awesome. the two craziest people I know are about to have a kid.
Craziest people you know.
Yeah, I reckon so. You guys are the most, what's the word?
pretty
Spontaneous
normal.
people I know.
Well, that's
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like with
y-
Mark.
Yeah, you.
because
Yeah.
I
have
don't
to
plan
be.
anything. So
That's right.
Yeah, but
How
the
much of
things
a
you
thing?
don't plan are going overseas.
yeah,
That's the crazy part. One week you're like, yeah, we're good. Next week you're like, let's go to this country.
oh, it just gets me excited. When you don't have to wait,
Mm,
when there's no
That's
true.
anticipation, you just book it straight away and you go. That's what gets me excited.
How many have you been to now? Countries? Because you guys have traveled a lot, man.
We haven't traveled like that much. I feel like people think I'm always traveling because that's when I post on Instagram. But like we've been to
You've been to some cool places, but
Lebanon together.
I mean,
Lebanon,
yeah,
New
the
Zealand,
2023, we did a whole
Vietnam,
Europe trip.
Thailand. Where else? And then Europe. Europe's one country. It's all the same. It doesn't count.
oh mate,
There's 6 countries.
you named 6 countries. That's a lot of
In-
countries.
3 years. That's 2 countries a year. 2 holidays a
That's-
year is what I need.
that's a big shout.
That's my
Where have you
minimum.
been, Ray? You've been.
I've been to a lot of places, but not in the span of 2 years.
Mm.
I just came back from the States. I did Greece, Lebanon, Solomon Islands.
When did you do Greece?
Back at Jamie's wedding.
Jamie Manor.
Yeah, when Jamie got
That
married.
was years ago. That wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was like 2018, I think.
Mm,
Yeah, that was a good trip.
I know.
You've traveled around America, haven't you? Like,
I've done a few states, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
What's your favorite? Texas.
Texas for sure.
Everyone says that.
Bro, Texas and New York, they're my two they're the most
New
opposite
York.
that they could possibly be,
Yeah.
but they're awesome.
Not a lot of people like New York.
I would live in both
Oh, really?
by far, 100%.
Mm.
If I ever got the chance and it was like, listen, you need to move to New York for 3 years.
That's crazy. I could never.
I could. Only because, watching Seinfeld and Friends, I can picture it.
Have you been there?
I'd like to live that lifestyle.
Brother,
It's different now.
it's
probably different.
exactly the same.
Is it?
No way.
What you
I
see
thought
on
it'd be so
TV,
I was just about to say it's probably going to be super different.
what you see on TV and the movies, exactly the same.
See, I
Oh,
would have liked
wow.
to experience that as a single person. I'm not saying anything, Shenae. But as a single person, like the way they
He's
lived
so
it.
saying a lot.
It's
The way that they lived it, bro.
The way- Not in that sense. No, not in that sense. But I mean,
Bam,
like,
bam.
Oh my God, bro.
You are
Like the-
shooting yourself in the foot here, brother.
the roommates and the apartment buddies next
Female
door.
roommates.
That's the dream.
Ah, champ. She
Oh,
is going
no.
to clip that on the ASAP and you are done.
And it's so hot in here.
Yeah, I'm
My
sorry.
face go red. That's all right.
I don't know what to tell you.
What do you do?
Oh, such is
You know what? At
life.
least it's not cold. There's a cyclone right now.
We're filming this in the middle of a cyclone.
Yeah, and I still came out here.
Yeah,
3
well
months
done.
Pregnant.
When you said Bam Bam was coming, I was a lot
Yeah.
happier because
Oh, yeah, for sure.
my first thought was, if this chick dies on the road,
It's on you.
it's on me and Bam Bam will kill me.
It's pretty much what I thought about all day today.
Yeah. Well, to be fair though, if you did, he'd be able to live his dream of living in
Ah.
America and New York like they do in the shows.
They wouldn't even say goodbye. You just like you would go to church and be
No,
like,
that's
"Where's
enough.
Mark?" And then you just see him on Facebook in New York.
Oh, that's too far.
This female roommate.
Hey, if she looked like Rachel,
All right, Bam, you're digging yourself a deeper hole, champ.
she knows this. She knows that. We've had this
It's
conversation before.
It's true. Wow.
Yeah.
Ugh, mate. All right. Well, listen, I'm excited because you're two, like I said, crazy people, and I like craziness, and I like the fact that you guys are so random, and it's cool because two random people found each other, and you guys made each other even more crazy, which is awesome. But before that, you guys had your own lives, you had your own stories. Bam Bam and I grew up together, which still feels crazy to me. Like, I can't believe how many years have passed doing
Yeah.
that. Like, there were days where I would come to your house and we would rollerblade and skateboard,
Yeah.
and I'd fall like 30 times and you'd be up in a tree doing something ridiculous.
It's crazy to see how far we've come, especially you. Right?
Yeah.
I remember when we were kids in Sunday school, and you were always the head of memorizing all the verses.
Yeah, I was a bit of a nerd.
Good.
And
Yeah.
a little bit of a nerd. Actually, And now to see you like preaching at the altar,
Yeah, it's very good.
it's
It's
actually
crazy.
It
And
makes
your
me so
sermons,
proud.
yeah, your sermons are actually like very good.
I appreciate that.
Praise God.
Thank you.
They're very, very good.
Well, like you said, bro, I think the fact that when a person gives their life to the Lord and says, "Listen, I'm going to give you 100%," I think He blesses that.
100%.
I look at where it's come, and it's the study, it's the constant, like, Lord, keep making it better, and it astounds me, like you said, how far I've come, but it astounds me what He's done with an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, bro, I'm not that smart. I'm really not. But God has been able to show how smart He is through someone who's not. You know what I mean?
I mean, I want to agree with you.
No, it's true. God uses the most unassuming people in the Bible.
I always say it. He
Yeah.
used the outcasts. He used tradies. He used people that society said you should not be teaching anyone.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was gonna say I want to agree with you, but then I'll be calling you dumb. So
Oh, that's
Oh.
that's fair shout. That's what the audience does anyway. So it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, you guys have your own stories, and I want to sort of get them out there because they're so different. So yeah, bro, we grew up together, and I completely forget where our paths crossed. How that it just felt like you were always there. But how do you get saved?
Well, I came to Australia when I was around 5.
Move that closer to you.
Sorry, boss.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, I came to Australia when I was about 5, and we went to church straight away. So I've always like grown up in a church. And that's where I met you.
Yeah.
We were about 5 years old.
Literally, you know what? We probably got there the same year then.
Yeah.
Because if you were 5,
Probably.
we started going 2003.
2003 sounds about right.
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds.
yeah, I was about
2003. Are you sure?
bro. I was 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, it was probably 2 years past at that church, and then there were one of the ladies, I can't remember who, it might have been Auntie Linda. She was preaching about salvation, and she said, "Put your hand up if you want to get saved." And as we were praying, so we all had our eyes closed, and then I took a peek, and I just see everyone's hands up. So I'm just like, "Yep," put my hand up. And you were there. I think you were
Hold on a
in that
minute.
class.
Oh, how many years after you got there?
Huh?
How many years after
probably,
you got
Probably 2 years after.
there? Okay, keep going because this is about to blow my mind. Just keep
Why?
going. Just keep going. You peek. You put your hand up.
Yeah, I peek, I put my hand up, and I feel like I understood the message because it's just been imprinted in my mind all my whole life.
Yeah.
So, I just repeated what the teacher said, but it was around 11 when your dad
Okay.
and Auntie Linda were
Stop.
preaching.
Stop. Did you go into a room with Auntie Linda and 2 other guys that
No.
night?
That night when I was 7.
Yeah.
No.
You didn't, bro.
Actually, literally the whole class put their hand up and
Bro,
just repeated.
we have such a similar story then, because when I was 7, Auntie Linda was speaking. She took me into a room with 2 other boys after the fact, but I only went into that room because I peeked and everyone put their hand up. And I didn't get saved
You know
that
what?
night.
Maybe I was there.
Bro, I didn't get. I think it was Auntie Linda and one other teacher, and then 2 guys were there. I remember that night.
I remember you being there specifically. So it's a blur. It's a big blur.
It's a blur. But I remember holding hands with the teachers
yeah,
and praying together.
yeah.
And I didn't
That's
get
what I
saved that
remember.
night. Bro, you're probably one of the boys. That is crazy because I got
Yeah.
saved 2 days later.
You got saved 2 days later.
So I prayed a fake prayer that night because I just put my hand up like you said because I knew the story.
Did you
and
say fake prayer?
yeah,
Oh,
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean anything when I
See,
said it.
I did mean it, but
You don't think you understood it?
no, I think I did understand it. But I feel like when I turned 11, they when they were preaching, I don't know, something just clicked even more, and I felt like I wanted reassurance, but I didn't know what reassurance was. But I just put my hand up again
Yeah.
to just properly accept Jesus Christ as my personal savior. And yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange to why I put my hand up, even though at the same time while I was praying that prayer, I said within my heart, I've already been saved when I was 7 years old. Like I
Yeah.
said, I've already accepted Christ into my heart when I was 7, but I'll do it again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's when I feel like that's when I properly got saved.
Yeah, there must have been.
It's very confusing growing up in a church because you don't really, well, for me anyway, I can't really connect with when I properly got saved because it's always been preached at me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're the same.
For me, it was extremely distinct because when I got saved, it wasn't in church. It was 2 nights later. So after that night, I went home and I watched a video called "The Story of Jesus for Children." And so when I watched that, I remember specifically thinking, I get what she was talking about. Like Jesus, he was doing his miracles. He died on the cross. He rose again. And I was like, oh, so like this is legit. It was like my kid mind needed to see it visually.
Yeah.
And then after the fact, the movie finished, but then the actors in the movie spoke to the kid watching the movie. So it was like they were talking directly to me.
Yeah.
And they said, this is what it means to be a Christian. Do you want to get saved? And during that, I followed everything they said. I go, yeah, I want this. So like for me, it was very distinct because I don't know, my memory burns those type of images in my head. But like you, the childhood in classes,
Yeah.
complete blur.
Yeah.
Time sort of mixes and matches and jumps.
Yeah.
But I think that's the same for a lot of kids, right? Like you've grown
That's
up
what I
in
mean.
church.
I feel like a lot of kids that have grown up in church have that very similar testimony, where they can't remember a big dramatic change in their lives because they've just been doing the same thing that they've always been doing
Because it's there.
because it's there.
I guess the big challenge is how do you make it real for a kid so it's not just a routine that they're falling into, right? And you said that there was no distinction or distinct like amazing thing that occurred to make you click, but it was just the right place, right time, where the Spirit was finally like, okay, you get it, you're ready for this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it is cool.
Why not?
Yeah, like
I love that, bro. Like,
I feel like it's normal. It's very normal.
but it's very normal for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not normal for people that haven't grown up in church, bro.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's normal for a person that's grown up in church. That's what I meant.
You know what's very normal for a person that's grown up in church is fake profession.
Yeah.
Thinking
That's scary. That's
and it's-
really scary.
it's terrifying because you can grow up in church your entire life, think you're saved, and then one day just realize I never really meant it.
Yeah.
And the reason that happens, I truly believe, is because of unprepared teachers who have forced kids into that,
That's very true.
when that's not our job.
Yeah.
Our job, I always tell teachers, is to lay out the facts, lay out the truth, and then let the Lord work on them. There was one time I was teaching in children's church and I taught a salvation message and I said, if you want to get saved, put your hand up, come and talk to one of the teachers after class. I don't like doing invitations with kids. I just like knowing who's thinking about it so I can talk to the parent. Then one class, one of these kids, he puts his hand up. I go, great, no worries. He was probably 7. I go, awesome, mental note, I'll tell the parent after. I finish praying. Okay, no worries. This kid gets up out of his chair and walks over to me. Class is still going. I go, mate, go take a seat. He goes, no, I want to get saved. I go, that's okay, great. We can talk later. Go take a seat. He goes, sits down at his chair. He gets up, comes back again after another teacher gets up and I've walked over to the side. He goes, no, Uncle Ray, I want to get saved. I go, okay, we can talk about. He goes, no, I want to do it right now.
That's crazy.
And so I took him into another room with a teacher. I explained the Lord to him. And this kid, 7 years old, in tears, asks Jesus to save him. So I think there's
Wow.
there's got to be a difference. I think a teacher needs to put as much pressure to not doing it, because if the kid's
I
ready,
completely agree with that.
he'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually amazing.
And that kid was ready. And for anyone that's probably thinking, oh, but then you're losing an opportunity. No, because what I will end up doing is after pushing them away, talk to the parent and say, listen, your kid said this, go discover it. Because they know their kid better than I do.
Yeah. See, I don't think there's a schedule that can be planned for you to get saved.
No.
So it's exactly what you're saying. But at the same time, I think most of the time it happens when you're on your own.
Yeah.
When you're
100%.
Yep.
when you're really in just a deep prayer, and then bang, like
I feel like it's hard when churches place like routines and like these are the steps for
Yeah, yeah.
salvation. That would confuse a kid for sure.
100%. I think it's important for us to lay it out,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
then not pressure.
yeah.
like there's an understanding that you have to really acknowledge your sin. You have to acknowledge God's love, and see what He's done for us. So you first acknowledge that love, and it allows you to love Him. So in order for us to to just sorry, I've just completely gone blank.
For us to get there, to understand the steps of
For us to
salvation,
get
yeah.
there, yeah, for us to get there, it's to completely fall in love with God.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the salvation message, because you see the love that Christ, what He's done in order for us to get back with Him. Like He separated Himself, and for us to man, I've lost my words.
Right, no, but I do
Speak in Arabic.
Edit that.
no, I do love what you're saying, is because there is such a divide between us and Christ because of His perfection and our
Yes.
sin. I think what you're trying to say is it's so important that we as a church and as teachers and as leaders do everything we can to present that to a kid.
100%. Yeah.
Let them know about it.
Mm.
But the where I think the problem lies is when a teacher thinks it's their job to lead someone to Christ.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not. Like that's a beautiful thing if it ever does happen,
Mm.
but it's not your job to get the number or the
No,
tick off the
exactly.
list.
No.
It's your job to present and then let the Spirit work
Yeah.
and do all of that.
You can kind of.
So bam, you can hear bam in the toilet.
A little bit, yeah.
Lovely. Well, I think we'll just continue straight off here. We took a break, ladies and gents, because everyone needed to go to the toilet, and now we're back. I think.
Almost.
You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. We're talking about salvation. We're talking about how hard it can be to get it right with a kid, and I love that because I never got Bam Bam's perspective of that. I think you and I have spoken about it once or twice, but to never think about that in such a different way is interesting. But what I find interesting, because your story is so different to his, is the fact that you didn't get saved as a kid, or you didn't even grow up in church, right?
No.
Not at all.
I got saved as a teenager.
How old
So
were you?
at 14.
14.
Yeah.
And that was because of a testimony of a friend, right? Dana
right.
was at school.
Dana.
Okay. Unpack that for me, because I find this so intriguing.
Okay, well, I met Dana at school. We went to the same high school, and she was extremely different. As an example, like when we would listen to music in class, she would be listening to hymns, like even like Arabic hymns. So it was really good because she was never afraid to share her testimony. She was known as like the Jesus freak.
Was that weird for you? Like,
Yeah.
like she was considered weird to you, or did
Oh,
you
100%.
admire it?
Not at first, no.
Okay.
I think it even took me a while to admire her boldness, even
Okay.
when I became saved, because
Really?
she was so out there and she was like unashamed to, like, she was herself, like she
Yep.
was being herself. So yeah, I met Dana in year 7. We weren't close at all. I grew up in a family that didn't really go to church much. Sometimes we would. My mum would read me the Bible sometimes, every night actually as well.
So you had somewhat of a
yeah,
foundation.
some understanding. I went to a Catholic school as well. And then skip to year 8, we would just be sitting together like for every class. I think it's because how our last names worked out, even though her last name started with an A and mine started with an S, so it's random. Like that's literally God just sitting us next to each other every class. And so we just start chatting and we start getting to know each other and we become closer and closer. And I realized like she's not that much of a weirdo.
Yeah, fair shout.
And one Friday night, she just invited me to church, and I just said yes. Like I didn't even think twice about it.
That's my question.
Yeah, I didn't even think twice.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do you say yes to that?
I don't know. Like she just, the way that she described it, like Friday nights was like a youth thing, would hang out, my mum would cook you dinner, like it's just really chill. And I'm like, oh, like whatever. Like I had been to like some like youth, maybe like Sunday school stuff when I was a kid. So like
Yeah.
I understood that there were like more casual parts to church, and that's how she kind of described it. So I just thought I'd go along, and I did. It was like an epic session. I don't remember much of that session, but I remember liking it. I remember liking like the how casual it was, like how interested the teens were. Like they had their own copies of their Bibles, so very different to like Catholic church.
Yeah.
And then I started attending Faith Baptist Church for maybe 3 months after that, and I kept hearing this message of salvation, and I had like no idea like what that meant, never heard it before. Like I understood that as a baby you get baptized, that increases like your chance of getting to heaven. You take the Holy Eucharist when you're like 9, and then you get confirmed when you're 12, and then you still have like 4 other sacraments to go to increase your chances of getting to heaven. That's just Catholicism. So that's how I understood it as. So I'd never heard of this like message of salvation. And then I kept hearing it, and then one sermon around February or March, Pastor Nabil was preaching about salvation. I'm like, what is this word that I keep hearing? And I have no like understanding of it. So after the sermon, I just went to Dana. I'm like, what's salvation about? I've like, what is it? And she like completely palmed it off. Do you remember Michelle Cousy?
Yeah.
Constantine?
Yeah.
I think her name is now. She would drive me to and from church sometimes. So Dana was like, oh, Michelle Cousy is going to take you home and she's going to explain everything to you. And like, you could just
She's
see
sort
the
of panicked.
excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she wasn't panicked. She was just like excited because Dana would always like, share the gospel to me at school.
Yeah.
So like, it's strange. Like I heard of salvation, but I think just the way that she would explain it, you know, when you're trying to witness to your friends, you're trying to get on their level. Like I just never heard of that word salvation before.
Yeah.
So that's what piqued my interest. So Michelle's driving me home and I'm asking her so many questions. I can't even remember like most of the questions, but the main question was like, why did God feel like he needed to come down and die on the cross for us to get to heaven? Like, surely that's not the only way. Like, surely I have to be a good person as well, and surely I have to do this and I have to do that. Like, this cannot be the only way. Like, I couldn't understand why God, being so powerful, would come down and make it so easy for us.
Interesting.
That wouldn't make sense to me. Like, and then, I don't know, like, people just complain that Christianity is all about a set of rules. It's actually, like, when you get to the crux of it, it's the easiest religion to follow.
Mm-hmm.
To start off as a Christian, you have to believe. That's so easy. Like, that's not hard at all. You don't have to do any sacraments. You don't have to be baptized as a baby. You don't have to say something in Arabic like that. You probably don't even know what you're talking about. Like, it's so easy, and I couldn't understand why would God make it that easy if we're so sinful. And so I can't really remember like what she said, but she said a lot for me to try to understand. And that drive home, like, it was supposed to take like 30 minutes, but it took like 2 hours because I was just asking her so many questions.
Yeah.
And then she could just see that I was just going around and around in circles. And so she's like, Shenae, you have a very important decision to make and you need to make it. Like, you should make it tonight. Because she could see, like, I'm on the edge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what decision do I have to make? And she's like, you have to accept Jesus Christ. And like, in my head, like as a Catholic, it's like, I already have, like, I don't know, I just didn't get it. And then I went into my room, got out of the car, went into my room, and I just like sat on the floor and I prayed, and I didn't know, what's that prayer that you guys call it?
There's a name for what some people call it, the sinner's prayer.
The sinner's prayer.
Yeah.
I didn't like know the terms or whatever. I just prayed my own prayer. Like, I prayed, God, I don't want my life for myself. I want you to take my life into your hands and I want you to take control over my life. And I remember saying, like, I don't really understand what this is about fully, but I trust, like, this is the right way.
Yeah.
And then I didn't feel anything at first. I just went to sleep. But when I woke up the next day, I literally felt pins and needles in my hand. And like it's very cliche. Like the sky was brighter.
Yeah.
It's like, it's full on like the movies. So I don't know. It's kind of sad. Like when kids that grow up in church, they say like nothing really changed. Cause I was still a kid. I mean, the most noticeable change for me was my speech.
Okay.
Like I would swear a lot before, and now I don't. But that was pretty much it. But just that feeling in my hands, like TV static, I'll never
Interesting.
forget it. Yeah.
That's interesting. See, for me, I was constantly scared. So when you say like kids that grow up in church don't always say that they noticed the difference, their life didn't change that much, I was scared of everything. And then after that, I just had this peace that I didn't need to be scared anymore. But the fact you had this feeling the next day is so interesting. It's such an intriguing thing. But what I find the most intriguing about your story, because something I don't get, Bam Bam, if I don't grow up in church, I am not going to someone else's church, bro. I do not care.
I love trying different churches.
Really?
Yeah, I love
so
it.
that was something in your head, you just liked doing it.
Oh, not when I wasn't a Christian.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I wasn't, I don't want to be there. There's
You
nothing
reckon?
you could have said to me to invite me to
Yeah,
go
but
to a
you
church.
say that, but like you grew up in a family where there's Christ, and even though my mum would read the Bible to me sometimes, like my family is not Christ centered. So I honestly, I feel like everyone that's not saved, they can recognize, like if they looked at themselves, that there's a need for something.
Interesting.
Everyone's looking for something. Everyone.
Yeah, interesting. I also like the fact that it was multiple factors that brought you to that point.
That's not even my full testimony. Like
Yeah.
there were so many different things that happened leading up to me being saved that was so weird.
But just at the most simplest context, you've got a friend who's a testimony to you and truly shows you that she cares. You got a youth group of people that actually want to understand God's word, and looking at that was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then you've got the consistency of people talking to you about it.
Yeah.
That finally
100%.
leads you to a point where you need to make a call. And I think once again, that is just Christianity at its finest, and that's Christianity at its
That's the whole body moving.
yeah. It's at its work, man.
That's work.
It's at its work, and I think when Christians do it right, something amazing can come out of that. And I think when it's so easy to get discouraged with it. You go on the church week in, week out. You're not seeing movement. You're trying to talk to your friends. They don't care. But then all it just takes that one question or that one word. Like for you, the trigger word was salvation.
Yeah.
Which is such a weird trigger word to have because it's
you
such.
hear it a lot.
Yeah, we hear it a lot. But for a person who's not in that environment, the word salvation can just be like, okay, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And that's a really, really cool story. And I like the contrast between you growing up in church, you not, and those two stories still having a similar path. Like, again, it all leads back to Christ.
That's
But
right.
you said that your childhood's a blur when it comes to those classes, right?
Yes, that's right.
Epic was a blur for you.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at you
so-
connecting the dots.
Hey, it's
Thank
what I
you,
try to
Bray.
do. That's what I try to do. But there's still one thing that you both got out of that experience, and something was real, and you couldn't break that. And that's what kept you around. And that is what's so interesting about what we do, is that Christ will pique a person's interest even if they don't know what it specifically is.
Yeah.
And he will grasp onto a person's heart and hold it. And it's up to you whether or not you want to continue searching from that point. No one remembers every sermon ever preached. I don't even remember the sermons I preach. But you remember what God did to you during that sermon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's anytime someone sees a visiting preacher come back after 2-3 years, one of the things I always want to do is walk up to them and say, hey, you preached this message 2 years ago. I don't even remember what it was about, but this. And it's so interesting how none of us ever remember what it was about, but we remember what God did in that.
Yeah.
And we were talking before about how God does, how God uses people that don't deserve to be used, how pride can get in the way if they allow it to. But when you see God work at his most rawest form, it's not about what the person did. It's about what the Holy Spirit did through that person. And that's what did the work. And that is awesome. And I think that is what's so cool about your two stories.
Yeah. I remember one sermon, one message that Mark Moore was giving in Epic. So I was still in Epic. So this is like 9 years ago. I was like 17. No, I was 18. We just started dating. And he preached a message on not having little g gods.
Okay.
He usually preaches the message about having idols and how you shouldn't
Yeah.
have idols before God, but his phrasing of you shouldn't have any little g gods before big G God, I still remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember it because he said some of you will get into relationships in the future, or some of you already are in relationships, and he looked me dead in the eye. I'm like, oh how does he know?
And that's the crazy part about it. He doesn't, and he didn't.
He so did. I feel like you told everyone straight away, probably.
No, I didn't.
Nah, I guarantee he didn't, but God does that. It's
Yeah.
crazy. You look at the most random person as you're up there, and God's used that random look in the most profound way possible. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
As if it's directed straight at you.
Yeah. But you two started dating when you were in high school?
Yeah, I was still in high
During
school.
HSC, actually, I was the biggest
Yeah.
distraction.
You were out?
Yeah.
Hey?
How
I was
much?
20.
Oh, okay, so 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me the story.
The story.
Because, bro, like, honestly,
Not much
I
of a
don't
story,
even
it was pretty
remember it anymore,
random.
eh?
Well, when did you start coming to church? When you were 14?
Yeah, 14.
That's when I started to. No, I'm joking.
I was going to say, you liked her for 6 years. What?
Nah. So I didn't really like Shenae at first. I thought she was loud and annoying. But
That doesn't
He's
sound like
waiting for his
Shenae.
roommate in New York.
yeah, as a 14-year-old, you know, a 16-year-old is a little bit too old for a 14-year-old. So, but then as she started to develop,
Why do you make this sound so weird? You know what? Shenae, you tell the story. What is happening?
I'm joking.
What is
I'm
going
joking.
on?
But when she
Mate,
when she turned 16 and I was 18,
put
It
the
wasn't-
MA
it wasn't-
rating.
it wasn't that
is
funny.
that he says this
It
story
wasn't that
exactly
funny.
how he says it every time, and he sees nothing wrong with it.
Bam, Bam, you've
wasn't
had
that
a lot
funny.
of years to practice this story, bro. You got to
Man,
change some of
I
it,
haven't
bro.
told her that
On
many
the way
times.
here, I was like, Mark, keep it church appropriate.
Look, develop. I wasn't thinking dirty. I was thinking her mind started to develop.
Personality.
Personality.
Yeah. Excuse him, ladies and gents. He's an import. He doesn't understand English
That's
too
right.
well.
I'll come
Be
back to
yourself.
the other.
No, you won't.
But
Yeah. She
We,
piqued your
um,
interest.
we became friends when she
Okay.
was 16. I was 18, and she was so easy to talk to, and then maybe a year later, I realized like this is the easiest person to talk to. I'm always having such a great time with her. And then we started messaging randomly. I'm like, this is actually going somewhere. I feel like I have feelings for her.
Mm.
So yeah, the feelings just developed over 1 year, pretty much, to allow me to actually like her.
Yeah, fair shot.
That's when I said, hey, do you want to do something tonight? It was like Saturday. She's like, yeah, okay.
No, you did not have to say the real story.
What?
You sent me a Snapchat saying, what are you doing? And I was like deep in study because I think we started talking maybe like a month before HSC trials.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm deep in it. And he sends me that message, and then I open his message, and then I drop everything. I get in the shower because I know he's going to ask me out. I get myself ready, and then I come back and I'm like, nothing. What are you doing?
Did you like him straight away?
She loved
Straight
me.
away?
She was obsessed with me.
When we started talking,
Respect.
it was like a really fast transition from friends to like I like you for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when we started messaging. That's when
Yeah.
the shift
Mm.
just happened.
And that was over a
And
span
yeah.
of like 2 days.
'Cause we,
Wasn't-
yeah, we'd
really?
always
I don't like talk. I don't believe in talking stages at all.
Oh,
I like you. I like you. That's it.
yeah, fair.
Yeah. Yeah, the day I asked her out, sorry, like the day I said, "What are you doing?" And then I took her out that day. We went to Nelson's Park, and that's the day I told her that I liked her. And she told me that she liked me too. After she laughed at my face and told me I'm cute, and I'm thinking, crap.
Oh, that's exactly what you want a girl to do. when you
Yeah,
tell her you
I
like
said
her.
to her, "I like you," and she's
Sorry.
like, "Ah, how cute." Ah.
Oh,
I didn't even mean to do that. I was just like, no way, he likes me too.
Brother.
I
Like,
think I
can't
waited
believe
for
it.
like a good solid 1 minute. You can imagine how long that minute
It's
was
pretty
for her to tell me that she likes me.
I was like full contemplating, do I lie? Because I wanted to do well in my HC. So I was like, do I lie and tell this guy I don't like him and like I don't think this should go any further or blah blah blah? Or do I tell him the truth? And I don't tell a lot of people this because I don't like it when people say God talk to me or like I heard God's voice. I don't like that. It's a bit heebie-jeebie.
Hey, sometimes it happens. though.
Sometimes it happens, and like when I was like, okay, I'm gonna lie because I was praying a week before, please God, don't give me a relationship right now. I don't want one. I want to focus on my studies and blah blah blah. And I was like getting ready to like say I don't like you, and then I just heard, I'll never forget this sentence: if you lie right now, you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life. And so I was like, I like you, and we should start being boyfriend girlfriend straight away, and then we should get married.
She didn't say that.
No, I didn't say we should get married, but yeah.
She didn't say we should be boyfriend girlfriend straight
No,
away.
I didn't.
It wasn't official until like 4 days after that. When
That's a blow to me. I don't know what happened, but now we're married. We have a kid on the way.
yeah, like we were hanging out every day after we told each other that we like each other, and then Shenae asked me, "Oh, like are we boyfriend girlfriend?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we established that when I told you that I liked you.
Bro, Bim Bim has already got the papers signed, and you're just like, are we dating?
That was like a week after you told me you liked me. I was like, oh, we've been hanging out like quite a bit. Yeah, like what are we? It's like, what do you mean? You're my girlfriend. I'm like, huh? When did that happen?
That's hectic.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Cool.
thought when you tell each other that you like each other,
That's it, eh?
Some
It's,
people don't work
it's a
like
commitment.
that. There's a lot of, and especially
Girls are
in
so
church,
different to guys, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so different to us.
Yeah, they want to talk for like 3 years before they test the waters.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I think they're very cautious.
No, that's it's
Oh yeah,
smart
you
to be.
need to be cautious.
No,
It's
there's
smart to be
cautious.
cautious.
You need to be cautious.
Plus,
for sure.
I think it's also very different, especially now. I mean, if you've grown up in church or you're part of a big church community like ours, it can go sour very quick.
Yeah.
I think you guys got out
Yeah.
before it got weird.
I just don't like
I
the
made
talking. Sorry, I don't like the talking stage because, like, without a label, without saying like we're together with the intention of getting married, like there's no stability in that for me. Even
Yeah,
though
yeah.
it's not a real couple unless you're married. Like I believe that. But I don't know. I just don't like this. I don't like the whole idea of testing the waters.
Yeah, fair.
Don't like that.
No,
Back in
I
the
agree.
old days, I just used to get married, and marriage was the test. You know.
Yeah, that's also kind of dangerous too. It's a lot of nuances to it. There's a lot of different
Yeah.
ways you can look at it. I think doing it the way that you guys did, in that no matter when this is in a person's life cycle of their relationship, once they know, don't muck around with it from that
Oh
point.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you have to make it clear, like, why you want to be in this relationship.
Yeah.
And we made it clear from the beginning. Like, we set out that we're in it for marriage and nothing else. Like, we're not here to muck around.
I think you're wasting your time if you're doing it any other way.
Exactly.
What are you getting into a relationship for? Like, what, just to muck
So
around?
why are you
To
even
muck-
talking with this
Most
person?
of the
Yeah.
time, like in the world, it is to muck around. And honestly, you never know. So like, we live in a world where you actually have to clarify, hey, what are you in this for?
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, the fact that we were both in it for marriage, like 100%, let's do this.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
100%. That's hectic. Well, guys, listen, this has been awesome. It's been great. So I've got one question for you guys before we wrap it up. And I want you to really think about it. I put you in a time machine, chuck you in a DeLorean, I send you back 10 years. And you get a chance to talk to your past self. So you're probably 27, you're 20,
16.
you're 17, you're 16. Yeah. Okay. What's the one piece of advice you're giving? What are you telling that 17 and 16-year-old to get them through the next 10?
I would so tell myself, like, it's so cliche, but just don't worry about impressing people. Because, like, in high school, you're so worried about, like, I don't know, being with the popular girls or, like, wearing this, like, because it's in right now. Like, just don't care about it. It's like, I was already a Christian then, so just, like, only worry about what God thinks about you and worry about your testimony in front of others.
High school's such a fishbowl.
Oh, it sucks.
It's such a fishbowl. When you're in it, you think it is the most important thing on the planet.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving and literally a day later thinking none of that was important.
Yeah.
Like
That's so
the
true.
popularity, the trying to fit in, the peer pressure. Literally a day after I left, I was like, oh, that meant nothing.
Yeah.
Literally.
So I think that's such an
Sometimes it
important
takes
piece of
longer
advice.
for people to
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah, but that's such an important piece of advice to always remember. You're not here to impress people. We're here to be different, especially as Christians.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Marky, what's yours?
I would tell my 17-year-old self.
To go to New York and get it.
Your stuff,
tell
bro.
him
She's
to-
going to be saying that for the next 10 days, bro.
I'd slap him first.
Fair.
And then I'd tell him, look, don't worry about the parties and the mucking around and the chasing the useless, meaningless things, and just focus on God, because that's when you're most alive and that's when you most matter. That's what I tell myself.
That's good.
That's a big one, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting how you can say that as many times as you want to a young guy.
I was just thinking that.
You can say that,
Say that to
listen.
myself tomorrow.
bro. You can, but seriously, you can say that so many times to a person in their late teens, early 20s. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Stop chasing the wrong thing. Just chase God, and people will not get it until they get it.
Yeah.
And it's just a life lived with just regret and like, bro, we did so much stupid stuff when we were teens.
I'm trying to put
and early
myself
20s.
in that teen mind, and I can't. I'm like,
It's
so
an ugly
stupid.
mind. Like when you get Snapchat memories, like that's embarrassing.
Oh, it's brutal.
That's so embarrassing.
It's brutal. It's rough. Or the old Facebook memories.
Yeah.
It's so important when you're talking to teenagers to understand it through their eyes, because
Yeah.
like,
so different.
man, it's a different mind. It's
Yeah,
a
it is.
completely
It
different
is.
thought process.
But-
So
But bro, not even just teens, even a person in their 30s or 40s, if they do not understand that God is the most important thing in life, you can say it as many times as you want. It's not until it clicks with them that they're like, oh yeah, they were right. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And looking at it from this side of the fence, you look back and think, what time did I waste, man?
Yeah.
Seriously, there's nothing more important.
yeah, it's strange for me because everybody knows that without God, we're all living meaningless lives.
Yeah.
Even the non-Christians,
Yeah.
people that are atheists, they will believe that. So why doesn't it just click? You know.
Well, I truly believe that's why the Lord puts things in people's lives, whether that be positives or negatives, right?
Yeah,
Mostly comes from experiences.
that's a very
Yeah.
good point.
Shock you.
I mean, like, I always say when I had the car accident, I wasn't living away from God. I was on my way to church that night. But God used that to, one of the big things he showed me through that was what you're doing and what you believe is real. Don't stop.
Yeah.
And like, that was a big switch for me.
Yeah.
So I think God uses those big circumstances in people's lives, those big situations, to help them realize, get your head on. It's awesome. Guys, thank you so much. This was great.
Thanks, Raymond.
This was really,
Was it?
really cool. I loved it. Joe,
that
do you,
went by
bro,
so fast.
yeah, we've been going for like an hour, mate.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Yeah. Like that was
Time for pizza on the Horsley.
that was sick. Thank you
They
guys
need to
so
sponsor
much.
this podcast.
Thank you.
Ladies and gents, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss an episode, and show these two some love. Tell them in the comments thank you. Thank them for being so
Maybe in
real,
the
so
comments.
vulnerable, so honest. And mate, thank you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. True, thank you for talking to me.
I was just starting to get comfortable.
And now it's done. Well, then we're going to get you on another time.
Yeah, we'll
Know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll get you on Have a Chat. Bro, we'll get a boys episode happening. Yeah, done. All right. Thanks, ladies and gents. That was really cool, guys.
Whoa.
I've got to move that mic.
Everyone.
I've
You're
got
not
to
the
move
only
like
one
a
tonight.
foam pad
Yeah,
back
I've
there.
got to move that mic. Everyone does that.